I'm Michael Buffington. This is Technical Earth Syndicate Episode 7. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Great.
Awesome. Well, today we got a bunch of topics to cover. We've been really working on the show this week. So we got some gaming news with discussing Marvel's new MMO, upcoming games. We got a tribute to adventure games, a quick review, and also Alan's Tech Corner with SpaceX. It's going to be a really fun show. So let's go ahead and start off with
Gaming news.
All right. So Marvel's just come out with a new trailer for their Diablo-style MMO. It's going to be free to play. It's probably the number one thing that's making me excited about it.
Yeah, we all watched the trailer, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
as we
watched the
did.
trailer. It struck me a lot like Ultimate Alliance.
It did.
Really did.
It really did. Which wasn't an issue because
No,
those
it's not
games were actually really fun.
They
So-
were. It's not a bad thing. I don't understand how it's suddenly Diablo style when
Well, it's kind of the the isometric overhead, RPG type of thing. That's what they're kind of
Right.
billing it as, a Diablo-style RPG. And it kind of makes sense because, it's the whole, like I said, the isometric view, and then you're running around killing stuff, looting, getting better equipment, and that sort of thing.
Well, in general, Marvel Ultimate Alliance was kind of Diablo-style to begin with, but I mean, this is going to be a free-to-play game, and I'm guessing they're going to have a kind of a community, kind of like what Blizzard has with Diablo, maybe, but maybe a little more open, hopefully. Did they even reveal how many people you can party up with or anything like that, Chris?
I don't think they have yet. Like, there's not really that many, that much information on it just yet. There is a few things that look really cool, though. They have when you're doing your main quest and you're running around killing things, every once in a while you'll have like a random boss event come up, like in the Guild Wars you're playing in.
Oh, so they have like little events that pop up, huh?
Yeah, just like say you're out questing somewhere, all of a sudden a sentinel's going to drop down. You're going to all have to team up and fight it. It's going to be a lot of cool stuff like that.
Well, with this overhead view, it's going to kind of remind me of like Ultimate Online and stuff like that.
Right.
That could be a good change of pace instead of just that third person, I'm right behind your character, MMO feel. So, I
Right.
mean, this could be pretty fun if it's very open world and have, let's say like 50 players in a zone or something like that, Who knows?
exactly.
And they're taking the cue from Diablo 3's loot system. You'll find a special whatever kind of equipment, but nobody else is going to be able to see it. Like, it's going to be your own
That's good.
drops.
That's great. I love that feature on Diablo. So, I mean, if
Definitely
more
do.
games can apply that, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, so
I
there's
got
no
so
competing
tired.
over loots or last hits or kill stealing, anything like that. If you're part of the fight, then you get rewarded for it.
Good.
Exactly. That's good. I
Yeah.
remember all the time getting people upset about that kind of stuff when you're playing WoW or anything
Right.
else, especially when you go to a raid. Oh no, this item's reserved. You can't have it.
That happens a lot in MMOs, and
Mhm.
that's why I think some of
That's
these companies are like Guild Wars coming out. They took away that, and if they do that with that as well, we're gonna have some really fun games that aren't gonna be about who can get better or who can reserve this or whatever. So
Yeah.
now it was just pretty much a teaser trailer, and they had a lot of information on we got the facts from IGN, correct?
Yeah. The
so-
trailer doesn't show too much gameplay, but you can kind of get the general idea from it. And story-wise, it seems like Doctor Doom has gotten a hold of the Tesseract or the Cosmic Cube or whatever you call it, and so that's going to be pretty interesting. And I think that might have something to do with the kind of explaining how you can have an entire team of, say, Spider-Man running around, because you get all these different characters that you can pick from, and you'll unlock them all. And any person can play as whoever they have unlocked at the time. So if you want to go around with a group full of Spider-Man or Hulk or Iron Man, you go for it.
Now, it's by a couple companies that really haven't been developing too much. I know that they've worked on something like it was some Marvel online game right now they have, which is like a kind of a kiddie-ish game. So who knows what they're gonna actually get from this, and it's gonna be free to play. So I hope it's developed correctly. Like in our last podcast, we talked about microtransactions and how to correctly do it. Let's hope it's not a difficult, I hate to compare it like DC Universe Online. You guys played that, right? It wasn't. It didn't really restrict you from playing the game with microtransactions. You could still play it and enjoy it pretty much. So maybe they'll do the same thing. And if you want a subscription or something too, you could do that as well. Cool little turn of events. Here in a couple weeks, we're gonna be starting to go over E3 material. It starts June 5th through the 7th in Los Angeles. So it's going to be a great coverage. So keep your eye on a lot of the E3 stuff. I know on pretty much everybody's going to be going over E3 coverage. So we'll probably be going over that soon enough. Hopefully the week of. What else we got?
Well, we got Overkill, who made Payday: The Heist. I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to play that.
Yeah.
No. I played the demo of Heist.
Yeah.
I think I played it.
Well, anyway, they're teaming up with Valve apparently for some sort of Payday Left 4 Dead crossover game. So that's going to be
Payday was pretty much like Left 4 Dead, but bank robbers. That was kind of the cool little thing they've ever had going on.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's going to be like they're kind of trying to, bring all the characters together for some kind of story. Maybe the zombies take over while the guys are trying to rob a bank or something like that.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested because Sony developed that game.
Yeah.
And do you know what engine they used? I don't think they used the Steam engine. So.
No, I don't think they did. I'm not sure what it was, though.
Not Steam engine, rather the
Source.
Source engine.
Yeah.
There we go.
And the Source is highly modifiable, so it could be as simple as putting the Payday characters into Left 4 Dead.
That might be...
number. That might be more like what we're looking at.
Maybe they'll have a couple levels that are kind of like, Payday's levels or something like that. So. And good news for Xbox users. We got Series Sam 3 coming out for Xbox. And also the Series Sam Double DXXL, stack 'em one.
Gun stackers.
That's great news for them. I know they got the other Series Sam's games on Xbox Live Arcade and everything, so that kind of gives them a little more options to play some multiplayer game.
We've also got Uncharted 1 and 2 are coming out on the PSN. You're going to be able to download them on June 26th.
Have they gave a price for them?
I don't think there's a price just yet, but
because I still haven't played 2, so I would kind of look forward to not going to the store if it's going to be like $15 or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be at least less than what you can get them for at the store. But
hopefully it's Sony though, so
yeah, we'll see. Me, I'm still gonna wait until the box set with all 3 of them. So if that ever comes out,
yeah. Bad news for Tomb Raider and BioShock fans because Tomb Raider, the reboot version of that got delayed to 2013. So did BioShock Infinite. Yeah, that got delayed. And then Chris is really excited about this one.
I'm not that excited about it. I can see people who would be, though. They're coming out with, for Street Fighter's 25th anniversary in September, they're coming out with this giant anniversary collection. It's gonna have Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. It's gonna have Street Fighter 3 online edition that just came out recently.
Right.
Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition is going to have all the costume DLC come with it. And they're also putting in Street Fighter Cross Tekken with all the characters and the costume DLC.
And that's going to cost what?
It's going to cost $150.
Woo! That's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not just the games, though. It's not just the games. It's got a couple of Blu-ray sets in it, too. It's got every episode of the Street Fighter 2 anime. It has the Street Fighter 2 anime movie, the 2 OAVs that came out for Street Fighter 4.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. There's a nifty Ryu statue. It lights up and it's all cool. There's an 11-disc soundtrack. All kinds of cool stuff.
One thing I would have rather had probably than the statue and some of the other stuff was be like a gaming pad, the actual joystick and everything.
Yeah.
That would have been cool to bundle that with that. And they possibly could do that. So, I mean, it's Capcom.
Yeah.
It comes with Ryu's belt. You can pretend to be Ryu.
Woo!
What about the live-action movie, man? Doesn't a collector set have to include that?
Those don't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. It was a fever dream. I'm sorry.
That's right, it was.
We had some cool technology. What is it called, Chris?
It's called Leap Motion. Some really cool stuff coming out for PC and Mac. It's going to be out in December. Right. It's basically Kinect times about 30,000. It's so much more accurate. Like the Kinect, you can only kind of work with your body and your arms and stuff. It's really rudimentary stuff. The Leap Motion, it can track your fingertips and just like so much more precise. It's
the video that showed in it was like he was like controlling different things with the computer, whether you're on a Mac or PC playing a game. Like they showed them playing Half-Life 2 with his fingers as the mouse, and he was able to like shoot things with his hand. It was pretty unique, and also like scrolling through pages and all the other stuff. You could do that, so it was kind of like this. What could I compare this to?
Minority Report. Everybody,
right
there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I saw from the video, I want it to be true, and it better be real, man.
Yeah,
it's really cool. You should definitely check it out. I'll try to post that on Twitter.
Yeah, definitely worth looking into it though. Like, what's really surprising about it is the really low price. It's coming out at $70.
$70.
Yes,
that's pretty cheap. Now, I want to see it in action before I do buy it, hopefully. Maybe they'll have like test models at stores, which I doubt, but we'll kind of look more into it to see if we get some reviews after it comes out. But that's going to be in December, so hopefully that doesn't get pushed back. Hopefully it gets pushed forward,
Yeah, check it out, though. It's called Leap Motion.
And now we got a new segment called Tribute to Gaming! This week I want to talk about point-and-click adventure games and where they're headed today. Today we have a lot of great adventure games, but they're not quite what they seem from back in the early 90s with Sam & Max or King's Quest and that Monkey Island, you name it. I want to see more of the 90s action than some of the artsy ones that we have today, which are fine. It's just not what we used to have as kids growing up. Now, I know Chris and I used to play a few of them. And like Chris, you played what?
Yeah, I played the King's Quest games back in the day, and there was another one called Hand of Fate, I believe.
Right.
That one was made by Westwood, and King's Quest had or Sierra did the King's Quest games.
One of my first adventure games was King's Quest as well, but the one I remember and I loved was Monkey Island 1. Secret of Monkey Island and Monkey Island 2. And then, shortly after in the mid-90s, Monkey Island 3 came out, which was amazing because it was all cartoony. I know you guys have never really played those games, but they got remastered version ones they just did a couple of years ago, correct?
Right.
And
yeah.
And and the people that worked on like Monkey Island was Ron Gilbert, Tim Schafer, and Dave Grossman, and those are those names are godly into the adventure game things, and that's why Tim Schafer just recently started up Kickstarter, right, with his campaign for a new adventure game because everyone wanted him to make an adventure game, just like what he used to do.
Yeah.
And once those guys split off from LucasArts, and it was just kind of like a chaotic mess. No one really knew what they wanted in 90s. Grim Fandango was one of the last adventure games that made sort of a dent into it, but it was one of the last ones. Everyone stopped making adventure games after that. That kind of comical tone and all that kind of stuff. And I've been waiting for more adventure games like that to come out as time goes on, but they haven't. There's been what are some of the newer ones that we've played with?
There was that one robot game. Was it Machinarium or however you pronounce that game?
that one was kind of funny, but it was silent. It didn't have too much of a story. It was a very artistic view of an adventure game, and that's what we're seeing nowadays.
You mentioned Sam & Max, and that's a little newer too.
Well, Sam & Max, yeah. Telltale Games, they did so many good things with that. They started out on, I forgot what was it called? Anyways, but Sam & Max got started, and then they came out Strong Bad, and what else? They Tales of Monkey Island, Tales of Monkey Island. They just recently released Walking Dead, and those are all kind of those adventure games that we used to love, especially Sam & Max. That's pretty close to what Sam & Max Hit the Road was, about.
Yeah, they also had the what was it, the Jurassic Park they
Jurassic
came out
Park.
with, and the Back to the Future was really good.
Back to the Future was more back, old school adventure games. Jurassic Park was quick time events, kind of like Heavy Rain did on
Yeah.
PlayStation 3, which was fine, but it just wasn't the best game they made. Monkey Island and Sam and Max were the truest, I gotta say, to the adventure game series from them recently. Now, Tim Schafer has been just everyone's demanding him to make a new game, and that's why he started up that Kickstarter. And they made over $3 million from Kickstarter from everybody, just from all the supporting people. 1 million happened in 24 hours. And you should watch all the videos on there. Like, both of you should watch it, and our listeners should watch all that, of how shocked he was to find out that he made that much money that the fans wanted to give to him to make a game,
Yeah, he's definitely got a strong fan base.
Right. And I mean, he's defined adventure gaming. So is Ron Gilbert, and so is Dave Grossman. I mean, all those guys that worked for LucasArts back in the day. I mean, man, like Tim Schafer's known for at LucasArts with Full Throttle, Grim Fandango, Psychonauts was actually after he worked for LucasArts, but that was when he started up his Double Fine Productions company. Psychonauts and Brutal Legend, and Brutal Legend really strayed away from what he did.
Yeah, it was quite a strange game.
It was, and it wasn't as. I mean, it was fun, but it wasn't, an adventure game like what people were wanting from him anyways. And, I mean, like, adventure games will come back, I think, just because of, look at all the fans that wanted him to make it, Just
there's people who have donated, up to $10,000. It's part of their Kickstarter thing. Like, one of the rewards, like the top one, you could have lunch with him and the other guys and all the other stuff that they were offering if you downloaded or if you donated $10,000. And 4 people did that. Yeah. Now, whether that's actual, regular people with just a whole bunch of money or like other game developers, that remains
someone looking for a tax write-off.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Is donating to Kickstarter with the expectation of getting something a true donation?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, I'll have to maybe research that a little bit more. One company that I've seen them kind of disappear into the distance with Sierra. They they made so many good games back in the day with King's Quest, and Space Quest, man. You can pick those ones up on Steam too right now and play all of them for pretty cheap. Yeah. But I mean, if any of you kind of missed them, but they were meant for DOS and all those other kind of just old supporting systems and everything. They were the original basis for, adventure games of what they, what the point and click genre kind of, had. And it was like, I mean, King's Quest was notorious just for the storyline and the puzzles. The puzzles were really hard in that game. Yeah. I want to see more people get into them. Maybe with the support of you listeners or anybody else that, just like all the people that supported, Tim Schafer and his act of, saying, hey, I'm going to make an adventure game for you guys, but we're kind of low on funds, which is kind of cool because they don't have to go through a producer or anything like, Activision or EA, going through the strings of that. They're actually just a company that will be able to make a game off of, a $3 million budget, Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, some of these other companies require 24 million, that kind of stuff. It's ridiculous. I mean, he got what he asked for, and he's going to give the fans everything. So
yeah, there's definitely a demand for it, and I think it'll make a comeback. They're already starting to, like we said, with the Telltale games, and I think we'll see a big revival of the adventure games pretty soon.
I want to see more of the comedy ones like I used to play.
Right.
The art ones are nice, but I want to see Monkey Island again. I did get to see that again, but I want to see another one. I want to see a Grim Fandango 2. I want to see a release of Grim Fandango or something like that, or just a brand new game that no one's really thought up of. And with Tim Schafer's mind and the rest of the crew doing it, with Ron Gilbert and everybody, that game is going to be amazing, whatever it is. Now, there's no news about what they're doing. They're kind of keeping things hush-hush, but they're also kind of giving fans a lot of extra things. Like they're also recording a documentary right now over the period of getting this money and making the game. So they're going to give that to everybody, and anybody that bought the game will have access to that or gave them money for Kickstarter. Well, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really cool.
So I just recently got into Warhammer 40K. I don't know if our listeners are really into that sort of thing, but
not the video game.
Not the video game. The actual the tabletop. You buy the models, you paint them, you put them together. It's a lot of fun stuff.
Right.
Like I don't know. I kind of was sort of associating that with the Dungeons and Dragons sort of thing. It was kind of above the line that I really wanted to cross with my nerdiness, but and for the record, Dungeons and Dragons is still kind of past that line, by the way. But
don't talk smack about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, you must embrace it, man.
Hey, man, I love Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know what you're talking about, Chris. You need to try it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
maybe.
Come to the dark side.
I a couple of my friends that I work with are into that game, and I went and watched a couple games and kind of showed me what it was all about, and it looked pretty fun. And so I tried a game out for myself. It's a very long game. Like a short game will take at least an hour and a half.
wow.
And so you can imagine the bigger games with larger armies. There's games that can take at least up to a weekend to finish.
Now, how many people do you usually play with on these campaigns?
I think most people usually do like one-on-one battles, but there are game types where you can, have teams, I suppose, and you can work together. And there's a whole bunch of different kinds. There's not just get your armies and go kill each other. There's objective games like capture the flag, king the hill, that sort of thing. There's a lot of really cool stuff that goes along with it.
Now, price range. What is the price range for this game?
It is a very hefty entrance fee. The just to get your starter army, it's like $100 just for your basic, build up from the ground army. And if you want to add stuff, you got to have your general characters, your specials who like lead your little units and stuff.
Right.
Those guys are going to be upwards of $15, $20. It's definitely an expensive hobby, and that's not even including all the paints and the glue you got to have, because you got to glue the models together. They're not snap-ons or anything like that.
What about actually just like buying the game itself? Because I know it comes with like a board and everything like that too. So.
Well, I think there is a board game. It's kind of different, but
okay.
Yeah, the actual game that I'm getting into right now is you just have the models. They come with their weapons and stuff, and you can buy terrain as well to kind of set up the area. But
kind of like Alan, this D&D, you can get different terrain settings with the grids and everything.
My question is, have you played Magic the Gathering?
I have.
You have. How does it compare? Because I know they've always kind of been like competitors.
Well, I have to say it's different than Magic insofar as there's not a new, unit or whatever coming out every week or every month that you have to go out and buy like a booster pack just to find out if you get something cool or not. So it's definitely more expensive, I would say, if you're buying your stuff all at once. But over time, if you spend it out over, say, a year, you could have like a decent sized army and you wouldn't, break your bank account.
Right. With, some of the card games or even D&D, man, like you spend upwards to hundreds and hundreds of dollars, especially if you want to buy all the books and everything for D&D or the character models or whatever. I mean, you don't have to do that. That's the thing. But the books are required. But
so I guess, and depending on which faction you go with, there are updates to the the rules and what they can do. But those don't come out like I said every month or so. Like with Magic, there's always a new update. So once you get a book for your army, you'll be set for a pretty good time.
I remember when we're talking about Magic as well, and along with D&D, man, I used to spend a lot of money each week on getting new card decks. Alan, you probably remember, right?
I did that all the time too. I lived in California at the time on a base, and there was a little store down the road, and I'd walk there every other week with my $20 allowance, and I'd blow it all. They sold them in the little convenience store. I used to walk down there and get them.
Yeah, between back in the day when I used to play Pokemon cards and Magic cards and buying comic books, I was broke most of the time too. So, oh man, youth.
No, we're still broke, but for other reasons.
Now, maybe later on you can do a video if you have it about Warhammer 40K, more of an in-depth discussion about like how the rules work and everything like that.
Yeah, once I I haven't gotten my own army set up yet, so once I get all my stuff, set up, painted, ready to go, I'll, show off all my stuff painted and what have you, and then I'll try to go over like the basics of how to play it. So look forward to that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Try again.
Never gets old.
No, it doesn't. Now, I spent Sunday morning watching the SpaceX, which is a company headed by a guy named Elon Musk.
Right.
He's a co-founder of PayPal and a couple other companies, and he's a CEO of SpaceX, and they build rockets and they contract out to other companies to do space flights. Right now, they're actually contracted to NASA, which is really cool, to bring stuff to the space station. Okay, they have yet to do they did their first flight, or they attempted to launch their first flight on Sunday. Unfortunately, they had a failure of a valve, and they ended up aborting right at the last minute, which was pretty anticlimactic. And
yeah, I know they had
for like 3 hours in the morning, half asleep, trying to watch it, and it aborts. So
I know they had the live stream that you were trying to get us to watch, but
yeah.
I can imagine just people sitting there watching that stuff all day, all night long, waiting for that, and then nothing.
Yeah,
that's gotta be disappointing. On Sunday, wasn't it?
Was on Sunday. Yes, this was the failure on Sunday I was talking about.
Right.
It was a little disappointing. It was very, 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 a lot of anticipation. You really wanted to launch because it's a milestone in history, and you get to sit there and watch it. It was really cool. But so then they rescheduled for yesterday morning, Tuesday morning, approximately the same time. And so I stayed up and watched that one, and they launched, and it was amazing. It was like the best video of a launch I've ever seen. I really wish I could have been there, but it's all the way on the other side of Florida, and I didn't have time to drive.
Now, when's that supposed to be reaching the space station? We're recording a little bit early, guys. So right now today is Wednesday, but we're really recording for Friday. So
yeah.
When's it supposed to be getting to the space station exactly?
3 days after they launched. They launched on Tuesday. They had to spend a full day catching up to the space station, and then they have to spend like a day and a half, 2 days, actually doing maneuvers to prove that their vehicle is maneuverable enough to be able to not crash into the space.
Right. So possibly this weekend, right?
Possibly Friday at the earliest, I would think.
Okay.
Thursday or Friday. So if you stay tuned to my Twitter account, @AGrayTES, I'll push updates about it. You can also, go look at SpaceX, and they push updates out all the time. And I just wanted to talk a little bit today about what they're taking, why it's important that they're doing this, and then we got a little trivia for the guys here too, for bragging rights. So we're gonna see who knows the most about space stuff. And one or two of these questions probably aren't fair, but I'm gonna ask them anyways because I'm mean.
Can I use Google?
No. No. Okay.
I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm just kidding.
If I hear typing, I swear. No, okay. First of all, the significance of this flight. This is the rocket's called Falcon 9. The top of it, which is the actual vehicle portion, is called Dragon. Okay, the Dragon spacecraft. It actually is a cargo craft. Okay, it's the only cargo craft right now in use that has the ability to bring significant cargo back to Earth. There is I believe it's a Russian craft that brings people back, but each person's only allowed like a lunchbox sized box to bring stuff back in. So I mean, it really can't bring stuff back. Most of the time, they send a vehicle up into space with like food and stuff for them, and it unloads at the space station. They fill it with trash and they kick it out to burn the atmosphere.
Right.
So it's a little wasteful, but I mean, that's what they do with them.
Well,
this one is meant to go up, drop stuff off, and bring stuff back.
And what kind of stuff are they trying to bring back from there?
Well, right now they're bringing back some equipment racks from some of the experiments they've done. This is considered a non-critical mission, so it's a test
Right.
mission basically. So they're not putting anything on there that they can't live without. Okay, basically it's extra food. They're bringing up laptop batteries. They're bringing up some experiments from some high school and middle school students, which is pretty cool.
Huh.
They have been doing that for years now,
Right.
but it's pretty cool that a private corporation is doing it this time. So.
Oh, definitely.
And so then they're bringing back from the space station some spacewalk gloves from some previous astronauts, which are really cool. Those might get into some museums and whatnot. And then just as little stats here, they're taking about 1,146 pounds up there. They're bringing back 1,455 pounds,
Wow.
which is pretty significant.
Okay.
So I think this is a company to watch. If anybody's going to help pave the way for future exploration of space that's not funded on the back of the government, it's companies like this.
They made history.
They
Really did.
They are, well, they haven't made it yet. I mean, private companies been in space before. Once they connect to the space station, that's when we can say they made history.
Yeah, this will make history if it goes according to plan, and hopefully it will. And as Alan said, on Friday, when you're listening to this episode right now, check his Twitter because he probably will be posting a lot of stuff about it if everything goes according to plan, or if it doesn't. Let's hope it does.
Just let you know that video was amazing to watch because you got to see from the view of the rocket as it went up into the atmosphere and went out into space, and then you got to see the view of the solar arrays on the Dragon spacecraft pop out, and then you got to see the Earth behind it.
Oh, wow.
All live. It was amazing.
Now
Yeah.
on SpaceX.com, they actually have some of the launch videos on there, or links
They
to
do.
them anyways. So.
And they're still pretty cool, even though they're not live, but they're still cool.
Right.
Oh well, I'm gonna have to go look into those because if
Yeah.
I had known there was gonna be like that, I probably would have watched it live.
Right.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, that was like what, 3 a.m. for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty early. I was pretty tired, but it was I actually got pretty woke up by that point. Once it was all going on,
Oh
I
man,
couldn't
yeah,
sleep after
definitely.
that.
You're like space.
Yes, space. And where are the green aliens? Green chicks. Okay.
Green chicks. I'll take one.
I'll take 3. No.
For science, you guys. For science.
For science.
For science.
Oh yeah.
Yes, for science. I'll document the whole thing. I promise.
Careful, Chris's wife and my wife are listening.
Okay,
Green
so-
chicks.
Trivia time. Y'all ready?
Dun dun dun.
Okay, the rules real quick. We got 5 questions. Best 3 out of 3 wins bragging rights. Okay. Until next time we do this, I plan to do this a lot. If that's okay with y'all, I think it'll be fun. No Google. Okay.
All right, I don't have my browser up.
Okay. First question: what is the current percentage of the U.S. budget that is spent on NASA?
Ooh.
Hey.
Hey.
No Google.
I'm gonna say 0.
I'm
0.
gonna say about 30%.
Actually, this is a myth. Most people believe that there is more money spent on NASA than actually is. Currently, as of 2011, we spent a total of 0.53% of the U.S. budget on NASA. It's estimated this year.
Abandoned that completely.
What?
I thought we had abandoned that completely.
What, NASA? You thought we stopped
Yeah.
funding NASA?
No. NASA's still being funded.
Well, I mean,
It's
NASA's
just
still around, of course, but I guess because the space program was canceled. So
yeah, well, they just don't. They're not being funded as much.
Yeah,
and they're
right.
not able to do everything. Like
Yeah. This year they're only going to fund them 0.48%. Now to put this in perspective, during the height of the Apollo program, which was around 1966, it reached its highest rate of 4.45%, I believe, 4.15, something like
Can I have a do-over? I didn't understand the question.
that. Okay, so we'll give it to Chris because he's the closest, even though he's completely wrong.
No! You can't just say 0%.
percentage.
Okay. Here's a little easier one. What was the first man to orbit the Earth Who was the first man to orbit the Earth, and what was his country of origin?
I'm gonna go with aliens in America. I really don't know. I'm gonna guess that the guy is from America, but that's all I got.
Chris?
I'm gonna say it's a guy named Yuri from Russia.
How do you know that? You Googling?
No. Was I right?
Yes.
Complete shot in the dark.
I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Yuri Gagarin.
Seriously?
Yeah, from the Soviet Union. Yes, he was the first to orbit.
You
the
Googled that.
I totally did not.
I know, you had to have. I didn't expect anybody to get that. Even though it's easier, I didn't expect anybody. Okay, here.
I just
this
thought
is
of
like
the most generic Russian name I could.
That's not fair to our Russian listeners.
Sorry, Russians.
You got to get this next one right, Mike. Come on now. You got to stay in the game.
Okay.
Okay, this one's a gimme. If you get this one wrong, I swear next time I see you, I'm going to hit you. Okay, we'll go to Mike first to keep the game going. First man on the moon.
Failing. You Armstrong.
Okay. Okay, we got a good game going here now. 2-1. Okay.
I hate you.
Okay, this is question number 4. I think Mike's heard me talk about this one time. What would happen if 2 black holes hit each other?
Oh, crap.
See how much you actually listened to me.
I remember it, but I don't remember all the fancy lingo you started using. No, I'm just kidding. If a black hole hit another black hole, it would what was it? Would it null itself?
Yeah,
Final
I think
answer?
it just cancel itself out.
Both wrong. It actually will combine it into a super black hole. They will combine it to one. And also, at a certain point of them being close together, if you go a certain path around them, you actually do backwards time travel. So.
Oh yeah, that's what you were saying. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that now after you restated it.
Okay, last question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What fuel is normally used in space flights, like rocket launching and stuff?
I'm gonna say JP8.
Mike, come on.
I know we just
Please
talked
tie
about
it.
this
We
today.
talked about this.
I know. It's hydrogen and something. Oxygen.
Yes, hydrogen oxygen. Mike wins. Or not Mike wins. Mike doesn't win. It's a tie.
Tiebreaker round. Do it.
I don't have another question.
We'll find one.
Find one.
You didn't think this through, did you?
Make something up.
Make something up.
It was seriously hydrogen and oxygen? Yeah.
Hydrogen and oxygen is
Okay.
what 90% of it I think is. There might be some other stabilizing stuff in there, but it's mostly hydrogen and oxygen, which will make all the hippies happy.
Space hippies.
Yes. How many episodes of Star Trek were there? I really don't know myself. So
Aliens.
why are the pyramids here?
Aliens.
Mike wins.
I'm just saying. Aliens.
So technically, it's a tie. Nobody gets bragging rights. You're both equally inept.
But I got the aliens one.
I got the Russian guy
I know.
on a complete accident, so that's got to count for something.
That was so awesome. What are you guys' plans for the weekend or the week so far?
Diablo 3.
Diablo 3 again. What a surprise!
Actually, I'm gonna be playing some Dead Island. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Dead Island all for cheap on
Yeah.
Steam earlier this week, so that should be pretty fun.
Maybe we should make some videos.
Zombies.
We could make some videos of us slapping zombies in the face without lag.
Yeah, because in the PC they actually fix a lot of the problems.
Yeah,
so
they did fix it. I had it on
fairly
PS3.
surprised.
It was horrible on PS3. It was so bad.
It was an
it's
example
actually
of what
kinda fun
not
again.
to do.
Well, that comes to the end of our show today. You can follow us on Twitter. Mine is mbufftes.
You can find me at CStewTES.
And again, A grade TES.
Awesome. We are on iTunes and YouTube. Subscribe, please. Also, Steam. You guys probably, if you're current listeners, already know the spiel over and over and over again. But for any of you new listeners, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. As we end today's episode, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Emerald Coast Productions, and to our listeners. If you have any rants, comments, or questions about our show, please email me, Michael Buffington, at techearthsyndicate@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and please don't drink and drive. The life you may save may be your own. Until next time, Technical Earth Syndicate, signing off.